I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Tuesday, August the 8th. And we knew it was coming at some point. We've been getting along pretty good here through August, but the first Monday in August, which seems pretty late, seems like we've been in August for a long time, but this was the first Monday, the market found some pressure. So we had stiff losses on the cattle board, and your grains were up some, but the gains in the grain were not really what was causing that stiff of a loss in the cattle, but it did add to it a little bit. You'd look at the CME live cattle futures for October contract down 297, 10 today at 111 and a quarter. Your August spot live cattle futures at 112.75, so that's a $4.50 basis. That seems a little wide as we get in here towards the middle of the month. Feeder cattle futures, the August contract down 370. Remember, the daily limit there is $4.50 on the first time, so 370. Pretty sizable loss there, with August closing on Monday at 146 and a quarter. Your weighted average on last week's fat cattle trade, which didn't come in quite as heavy as what we needed, at 79,300 head in the 5-area feeding region. We need to sell upwards 90 plus to really clean everything up and stay current. But at the same time, your packers need to buy that many cattle too, so that they've got plenty of cattle to get them through all the way through next week and be able to have a late week trade if they need to. But this lighter trade could bring them into this week, middle of the week, needing to buy some cattle because they're pretty aggressive on these change speeds. Big Monday there, over 18,000 they're expected for a slaughter. So you look at that 79,300 head in the 5-area feeding region, that compares to 99,700 just a week before and 102,300 head a year ago the same week. So yeah, that's a little light. We need to be moving more cattle than that. But the weighted average price on live steers was $117.30. That was up 14 cents. Your dressed steer average was $187.36, down 12 cents. So pretty much steady, but you could say steady firm for sure on the live side, because especially late in the week we had quite a bit of 118, so that was pretty good. And it would really take 118 to be steady this week whenever trade starts going. Look at what's going on this week. Western video markets in Cheyenne, Wyoming at Little America there, around 52,000 head on Monday and Tuesday. Look at some sales on Monday that caught my eye, and I think would catch yours too. The Diamond Cattle Company in Eureka, Nevada. You don't normally see big prices. You know, normally it's Sand Hills in Nebraska or up behind a feed yard in western Kansas or something. But Eureka, Nevada, Diamond Cattle Company had 130 head of weaned steer calves for early November delivery, 375 pounds at delivery. Red or solid red or black calves bring 237.50, weighing 375. Now it's the heifers, the sister mates there to weigh 370 at same delivery brought 212. That's probably, I know those are pee-wee calves, but that's still probably the highest price that I've seen so far this summer on fall delivery calves. Look at some yearling prices there on Western Video Market. Lowe Cattle Company in Ashby, Nebraska, which would be on the western side there north of Ogallala. 375 head of yearling steers, about 7 loads, to weigh 965 pounds in late September. Now these cattle were home raised and actually all natural, because they haven't had any implants so far. The only thing they've had to eat all summer is grass, salt, and mineral out there in the Sand Hills of Nebraska. And this is where cattle bring a lot of money. And those 965 pounders bring 150, 150. 175 head of lighter brothers to weigh 875 brought 155 and a half. Pretty impressive. But on-site cattle auctions, we're a little better on the Monday sales, because the Monday sales didn't enjoy all the gain that we saw last week. Because if you remember last week, Tuesday, the board was up big and your feeder markets were all up big Tuesday on, but Monday they didn't see much gain. Your real-time index on Beef Market Central late Monday at 148.52, down 12 cents. So just about steady with what was going on late last week. But Oklahoma City had 5,500 head, another fairly light run for them. Feeder steers and heifers steady to $2 higher, some 6-weight steers up to $4 higher, and calves steady to $4 higher, with the gain mostly on the steers. Joplin Regional Stockyards had 4,200 head. Yearlings were steady and had a lot of loads of yearlings there, but they hung steady with last week's market. Calves steady to $4 higher. An individual quote, take note of this, individual quote, Bluegrass South Stockyards there in Stanford, Kentucky, just before 10 o'clock in the morning, blew all the figures away. We won't see any cattle this high or any higher than this week, but they had a load of 827-pound steers right there in Stanford, bring 156.10. That's your feeder flash for Tuesday.